and everything that was good. They weren't inclined to destroy these things, but everything that was worthless or weak, they completely destroyed. Does anybody see the problem that just happened here? I'm going to tell you, I slammed my hand last time on the podium when I said that this text doesn't give you the full scope of who they allowed to live. Because if we get over into the book of Esther, remember I had mentioned that? Chapter 3, verse 1 through 3. Esther, chapter 3, verses 1 through 3. It says, sometime later, Melech Ashkarashkoverosh, began to single out Haman, the son of Hamdata, the Agagi. He's the descendant of Agag, who is an Amalek. Had Melech Shaul did his job and killed his son too, there wouldn't be a Haman. Haman wouldn't exist. What is that? I got to look to my DC Marvel folks. What is that? What if is in what? Is it Marvel? What if is in Marvel? Okay. What if is this whole entire thing? These young folks, they're going to look at me, come on, Dad, my son is over there, don't butcher this. These Marvel movies, they say, okay, you've got the Hulk, and you got what else? Thor, and you got all these other characters, and I was getting ready to say the Flash. He was like, now you're mixing DC, Iron Man. And there's a narrative that happens with Nick Fury and the Avengers and all that kind of stuff. And then there's this narrative that says, well, what if Thanos did this? Or what if Black Panther was a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, okay? What if? What if Ibir, Melech Shaul had did his job and eliminated all of the Amalek? We wouldn't have Esther. But maybe there's a reason in moving the chess piece in order for you ladies to see something. Is that without Esther, you don't get this ability of a woman delivering a people. That it doesn't necessarily have to be a man all the time. It's because of her exploits, of what she did, that saved her people. Which, if you like the book of Esther, you're going to love Judith. You're going to love her. She's about as cold-blooded as Yael. And is almost as ruthless. Oh my gosh, I can't say enough about her. She is ruthless as Yael. She has this ability to be, she's a master manipulator. She knows how to use what she has to get what she wants. She reminds me so much of Shimshon and how he is so calculating. I have never seen, and this is a dig on Christianity, on why you keep telling people to stay away out of those apocryphal books. There's so much rich information there that says if little girls were taught this in the Christian church, if they were coming up, their whole outlook would change on who they actually are as women. You see a woman that's just engulfed in just nothing but just giving it away. But we're going to get to her. Let's go back to verse 10. It says, then the word of Yahweh came to Shemuel. I regret setting up Shaul as king because he has turned back from following me and hasn't obeyed my orders. Twist that, Christians. Twist it. Come on. You can come on. It's easy to twist it. See? Right there in the text. The Most High can change his mind. If he gets over here in Christianity and says, oh, okay, the mitzvot are done away with, he can change his mind. He's God. You see? It's right there. That's not what the Most High is saying. How many of you have kids? How many of you had to discipline your child? Do you delight in that? I regret having to do this to you, but I have to do it. I don't delight in this. We've already established that the Most High is on the same page with Shemuel. Listen, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting me. I have to show them an example of what a disaster this is. I regret even making this guy to even inflict this pain on him. It's not a sense of saying I regret doing this because I don't know what I'm doing. This is I've already planned this out and I regret having to do this to show you and teach you a lesson. Let's keep it in its Hebrew context. Don't twist it and say, okay, that's you can see right here. This is an indicator of the Most High's behavior. He can change his mind. No, he can't. So, this made Shemuel very sad. So he cried to Yahweh all night. Shemuel has a heart for the chair. You know what I mean by the chair, right? Okay, he has a heart for the chair. Everybody in here should have a heart for the chair. The heart of the chair is not me. The heart of the chair is not him. The heart of the chair is those mitzvot in the Most High. You're not loyal to anybody, any one of us in leadership. You're loyal to the Most High and the mitzvot, upon which you evaluate the stuff that's coming out of our mouths by that standard. So if we're not doing the things that as administratively that are in line with the mitzvot, then we need to be called out upon it. That's the period in the story because we have a devotion to the chair, not the person sitting in it. I just love going to see my pastor on Sunday. He just has a word for me. Nothing that came out of your mouth exemplified anything that has anything to do with the Most High. When someone gives an accolade to you, what are they saying to you? What would somebody say about you? He's a good guy. He does this, he does that, he has integrity. All right? Let me give you some advice, young men, when you're dealing with females. You know how you actually get a female's mind? I know I'm sounding like I'm chauvinistic right now. It's by showing her that you have an affection for principles and things that you stand for. I see the man, but I see what the man stands for is what I've fallen in love with. He has principles. He has morals. When someone talks about you, they're talking about what you stand for. They didn't say, okay, tell me about yourself. Well, he has, locks in his head and he's, this melanated. No, they never say that about you. They talk about what you stand for. It's your character that talks for you. Okay? That goes both ways. Men, you see she ain't about nothing. It's on to the next. Be people of your word. Stand for what's in the chair, not the person in it. I probably just emptied this whole entire place. It says, Shemuel. Oh, let's go 13. Shemuel went to Shaul. Shaul said to him, may Yahweh bless you. I have done what Yahweh ordered. That is a flat out, bold-faced lie. He says, but in 14, but Shemuel answers, if so, why do I hear sheep bleating and cows mooing? He says, Shaul said, they brought them from the Amaleki. They brought them because who ordered it? You did. Man, this dude has some character issues. Because the people spared the best of the sheep, he puts it on them. It's not me. No. The people spared the best of the sheep and the cattle to sacrifice to Yahweh your El, not my El, your El. But we completely destroyed the rest. Then Shemuel said to Shaul, stop, I'm going to tell you what Yahweh has said to me last night. And he said, speak. Shemuel then said, you may be small in your own sight. Says, but you are the head of the tribes of Israel. What did he just say? You are insignificant. You are the representation of the chair. Understand the gravity that's been put on your shoulders. Thinking about yourself all the time. It says, now when Yahweh set you on a mission and told you, go and do what? Completely destroy Amalek. Those sinners, keep making war on them until they have been exterminated. Why did you seize the spoil instead of paying attention to what Yahweh said? From Yahweh's viewpoint, you have done an evil thing. Is he talking out of school? No, he's not. He's right in line with it. The Most High gave you a command. As a matter of fact, he reinforces that command because that was given back to our ancestors back when Moshe was around. It says, what? At the end, don't forget. Kill them all. So he's not saying anything that you shouldn't already know. But see, since you don't have an affection for the chair, you don't know the mitzvot, you don't know that. At every single turn, somebody's telling you about a mitzvah. You know it's the Shabbat? Really what we're supposed to do on the Shabbat? Why are people telling you that? You're supposed to know that already, okay? 20. Shaul said to Shemuel, I did pay attention to what Yahweh said. Okay, this dude got ADHD, bro. No, you didn't. And I carried out the mission on which Yahweh sent me. I brought back Agag. No, he didn't tell you to bring back Agag, the king of the Amalek. And I completely destroyed Amalek. But the people took some of the spoil. Again, he's blaming the people. But he didn't incriminate himself in the first sentence. I brought him back. I brought Agag back. But the people, okay. But the people took some of the spoil, the best of the sheep and the cattle aside for destruction, to sacrifice to Yahweh your El in Gilgal. Shemuel said, does Yahweh make... Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I'm sorry, Christians. I'm sorry. But you're never going to win this argument with this group of people in here ever again. Okay? How many of you have heard this? Does Yahweh take as much pleasure in burnt offerings and sacrifices as obeying what Yahweh says? Have you heard this? Oh, y'all do the mitzvot, so y'all into sacrificing? Y'all into sacrificing, that's what y'all into? Apparently you into sacrificing too, people. So, anybody will take a goat over an innocent man, apparently, that y'all have put up on this pedestal and sacrifice him every single month. Because what do? What you call your communion. Because it says in your text, do this as much as you can want to remember me, or however it says. I'm butchering it, but it says something to that effect. So you're remembering the fact that you are sacrificed to human. And you got a big, huge day called Easter. Okay? That commemorates it. I'm going to tell you something about Hebrews. Let me get you squared away for those of you that are not sure about what it is about these mitzvos that talk about sacrificing animals. First of all, they are in play. Second of all, we can't do them because we're not in the land. Because why? It requires us to have a priestly hierarchy, which we don't have right now, and you have to do it in the land, and the priests have to do it. We don't have those two components. So therefore, they are in play, but we can't do them in their totality. Also, I don't worry about sacrificing anything. Why? Because I'm not breaking the mitzvot. You don't have to worry about whether or not I'm sacrificing a goat or not, because I'm not breaking anything. That's like saying to you, okay, you're an American, so you go to prison, right? Yeah, I'm American, but I don't go to prison. Well, why don't you go to prison? You're an American. I don't go to prison because I don't break the law. I don't sacrifice goats and lambs because I don't break the law. So don't worry about them. With the audacity to sit there and say, after you didn't bruise this man so he's unrecognizable, and then sacrifice him and then put him up there. The outright gall of some people. Yes, I'm going to stick my nose up in the air and let the Most High's rain from heaven fall in it. Oh, man, here we go. Okay. It says, for the rebellion is like the sin of sorcery. Stubbornness is like the crime of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of Yahweh, he has rejected you as king. Shaul said to Shemuel, I have sinned. I have violated the order of Yahweh and your words too, because I was afraid of the people. Man. You are just not it. I was afraid of the people and listened.